Hey everybody, how's it going? Mr. Biz, Ken Wentworth here, and I wanted to drop on here and talk about something real quick that for my clients is I said almost always, but I can't think of an example when it wasn't, when it always isn't a game changer, and that is the idea of putting together a budget. Now, I think a lot of people don't put together budgets because they're intimidated by them. They get the concept, they don't understand some of the benefits of it, etc. But I'm here to tell you again, I can't think of an example when we've implemented a budget with a client and it didn't work. And I will mention real quick, these are the kind of topics we cover in my Pathway to More Profits program. I'll put a link in the post here, but it's MrBizProgram.com. You can go out there. There's a page that explains what it is. It's a 5-week program, pretty quick, but really, really good stuff there. But so check that out if you're interested. But back to the topic today, budgeting. So first of all, I almost always have come across businesses don't have a budget. As I said, some people are intimidated by them. Some people don't understand them. Some people say, you know what, I want one, but I don't have the time to put it together. B, I don't even understand where to start. What do I even do here? So I want to talk about one element of it today that is absolutely critical. Otherwise, your budgeting efforts will end up being almost useless. So what's that? What the heck do you mean by that, Mr. Biz? So, you're telling me how great they are, but then you're telling me that it could be useless. So budgeting. So today, personal thing. Our middle daughter just got her temporary tags for driving today, so I'm a little off today. I think it's starting to hit me. Fatherhood reality is hitting me. Of course, our oldest is off in college and all that good stuff. But talk about budgeting for cars and insurance and all the things that go along with that. So anyway, the thing that you have to make sure when you have a budget is if you have any seasonality in your business at all, or cyclicality, another way of putting it, you have to make sure you're capturing that. Because the key element to a budget, is to make sure that what you're capturing, so you can make better decisions throughout the year. So and at any given time, let's say you're through May, you're in June, you're talking about May results, you know exactly through 5 months of the year, how are you trending versus your goals? And so that's a key element to your budget. Are you ahead? Are you behind? What adjustments do you need to make? If you're ahead, say you're behind on revenue, and you've got 4 different revenue streams, which one are you behind on? Are you behind on all of them? Are you only behind on one? What kind of changes do you need to make to fix the ones that are lagging? Same thing on the expense side. What's trending way out of line here? Things like that. So the thing is, seasonality is extremely important. So seasonality, I would say about 2/3 of businesses have some sort of seasonality. And in easy terms, in layman's terms, that just means that you have, there are certain parts of the year that are busier than others. So let's say, for example, you have a business that is focused on outdoor work, and because of where you live and your climate, there are certain months out of the year maybe that you cannot do work outside, and so your revenue is almost non-existent, or maybe a zero. And then when the weather's nice, you're going like gangbusters, and you got appointments weeks out, things like that. So making sure you have that is very important. So I'll mention, I had a client one client, now there's not been many, as I mentioned, that have actually had a budget before. Well, he had a budget. He was very proud of it. And he said, yeah, Mr. Biz, I got a budget. Let me show you this thing. Well, I'll give him an E for effort, because he had created a budget, which again, most don't. But there was no seasonality in it. So, and I'll make the numbers simple so I don't have a whiteboard to show you to kind of illustrate this. But let's say that his annual revenue goal was $1.2 million. And so what he had done, without putting any seasonality into it, is he just said, well, I want to make a $1,200,000 this year. There are 12 months in a year, so I'll take $1.2 million divided by 12, and my budget's $100,000. I need to make that each month. Now, on the surface, on the macro level, makes all the sense in the world, right? You spread it out evenly. However, as I mentioned, his business had some seasonality in it. So what happened was the cold months, where he's a northern climate business, so in the cold months, he did a lot more business. That was his busy time. So, as you would expect, really, if you put seasonality into your budgeting, you should be making a lot more than just $100,000 in those cold months, because during the warm months of summer, his revenue goes down. It doesn't go to zero, but it goes down significantly. So he got through 3 months of the year when we talked. And so we're in April, he had 3 months, and he said, here it is. My budget was 300,000. So, right, so 100,000 per month times 3 months, 300,000. And he was sitting at 450. So he said, I'm 50% ahead. So he's 150,000 ahead on a budget through 3 months of 300,000. He's ready to crack out the champagne. He's popping bottles, right? He's making it rain everywhere, right? He's feeling pretty good about things. However, when we baked seasonality into it, we found out that he was actually behind. So that is the key element there. So he should have been making, so in that example, through 3 months, he was at 450,000. So 150,000 a month, roughly, right on average. Because of the seasonality and how severe it was in his business, he should have actually been at about 180 per month. So he should have been at 360, 540. So he's $90,000 behind when he's thinking he's 150,000 ahead. Now, hopefully that all makes sense. Again, I don't have a whiteboard to sort of illustrate all that for you, but hopefully that made sense. So that's why having that seasonality is critical. Here he is thinking he's 50% ahead or $150,000 ahead, and he's actually 90,000 behind. So very, very important. Otherwise, again, it makes it almost useless because now you're making decisions for your business based on information that is not accurate. So again, you're not ahead, you're actually well behind. So very, very important. Again, we talk about things like this in my Pathway to More Profits program. It's a 5-week program. If you're interested in that, something sounds interesting to you, go out and check out MrBizProgram.com. There's a landing page there. You don't have to sign up for anything or anything like that. It just outlines what the program is, kind of what we walk through, how it might be helpful for your business. What was the other thing I was going to mention on budgeting? I don't remember. Maybe that'll be another video. Thanks again for watching, guys. Again, MrBizProgram.com if that interests you. Otherwise, no worries. I really appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate the feedback. Don't hesitate. Throw some comments down. Let me know. And by the way, if there's any topics that you guys would like to hear, don't hesitate to let me know that as well. You can drop in the comments here. You can send us a message via the Facebook page. Tweet it to us at MrBizTweets, anything like that. Want to make sure we're giving you content that's good and it's things you're going to use. So hopefully that was helpful, and we will talk again soon, maybe tomorrow. All right, see you guys. Have a good evening.